Space Above and Beyond, a series before its time, but could it still be in line to get a reboot? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV movie channel. So a few months ago, I told you that Disney were seriously considering, a Space Above and Beyond reboot instead of Firefly. They were looking very seriously for a new sci-fi franchise. Now, the Orville might be that franchise that they want, a utopian style sci-fi show, a good feeling show. But they also want something a little darker and a little heavier. Now, they'd have loved that to have been the Firefly, but when they tried to develop something, they just couldn't figure out how to do it. They asked for several different creators to pitch ideas and just nothing worked. So instead, they decided to look at something else in their stable. And the first thing they looked at was Space Above and Beyond. But that was a few months ago now. What is happening? Well, I can tell you that sources that are close to people potentially developing this show are telling me that things are still moving in the right direction. Now, initially, Disney asked a couple of different creators to pitch some ideas for A Space Above and Beyond, and that didn't really go anywhere quite quickly. So they had the very bright idea of returning to the original producers. Glenn Morgan and James Wong were the initial creators of Space Above and Beyond, and they had, before that, worked on the X-Files and since worked on several other projects. So Disney approached them and said, would you like to bring this show back? Apparently, both producers, James Wong would go on to write the series, jumped at the opportunity. Now, this isn't going as far as being greenlit yet. All they've been asked to do is pitch ideas for how the series would go ahead. But what I'm being told is that is really a difficult process. They already know what they would like to do with the series because they'd already mapped out 5 seasons previously. Space Above and Beyond was always supposed to be a 5 season series, but obviously it got cancelled after the first. So all that James Wong would have to do as the writer was take the original story that they had and potentially revamp it a little bit, maybe modernize it a little bit. And that's all they intend to do. We're actually going to be able to find out what would have happened beyond season 1. Now, this is not going to be what I'm being told is a continuation. This is going to be a little bit like what JMS, Michael Straczynski, has been asked to do with Babylon 5. It's basically a reimagining. It's kind of like they're going to go to the original creators and go, if you were to do the show now, what would you do? And that's the opportunity they're being given. Now, I think this is actually a brilliant and quite a brave thing for a TV production company like Disney. This is actually going to be through Fox, though, to do, because this show has already failed once. So why would they assume that it would work this time? Well, as I said, Space Above and Beyond was just ahead of its time. It's one of those shows that now, if it was on a streaming service, would have got 50 or 60 hours worth of television out of. Now, I don't think this is the type of show that goes on a network. It's not a 22, 24 episode a year series, and that there's something that they can produce a series every single year. It's too big in scale. And that was one of the problems with Space Above and Beyond before, that it was on a network. They never were able to fulfill the possibilities of a show like this on the limitations of a network. A network, we get lots of hours of television, 40-minute episodes, 22 episodes plus, but we don't necessarily get the quality. Now, if Disney, Fox decide to go ahead with this and we do get a Space Above and Beyond reboot, I think we can look forward to something really exciting. And if we do get 4, 5 seasons, 40 or 50 hours of television, I think they would have the opportunity to tell a really exciting and interesting story. As I said, this is very much like what JMS is doing with Babylon 5. When he has said, why do you want to do it again? He said, well, I just want to know what I would now do with it. I'm a wiser man. I'm an older man. After all of the projects I've done in the past, all of the experience I've gathered, What would I do with Babylon 5 now? James Wong and Glenn Morgan have exactly the same opportunity. So let's hope they grasp it with both hands and produce something that's even better than the original. And if you actually now think about it and you look back on that season, how many shows have copied it since? And that is always a big sign of really great TV. So, guys, get in the comments and tell me exactly what you think. Is Space Above and Beyond something you want to see given a second chance? Now, generally speaking, we don't really love reboots on this channel. We tend to bemoan them and wish they would just do something different instead. But some projects deserve a reboot. And for me, Space Above and Beyond is 100% one of those. But get in the comments and tell me what you think. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out. And as always, please consider hitting the join button if you want to really support the channel. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.